The first time the crew of the Stellar Concorde saw the human's pet, they laughed. Not quietly, not politely. They laughed the way seasoned spacers laughed at something genuinely absurd. Captain Threxel of the Karate folded his upper limbs across his plated chest and clicked in amusement. "You allowed that aboard my ship?" he asked, eye stalks swiveling toward the small creature clinging to the human's shoulder. The human designation, Marcus Hale, shrugged in that loose-limbed, irritating way humans had. "She's harmless." The creature in question was small, no larger than a house cat. It had 6 thin legs, soft gray fur, and oversized black eyes that reflected the ship's lights like polished glass. Its ears, or what passed for ears, twitched constantly, swiveling as if tracking sounds no one else could hear. It chirped softly, then curled its tail around Marcus's neck. "Harmless things don't belong on interstellar warships," Threxel snapped. "She's not a thing," Marcus replied. "Her name's Pip." That only made the laughter worse. The Stellar Concorde was a mixed-species vessel, assigned to deep border patrol near unstable regions of space. The crew had seen predators that could melt steel, parasites that hijacked nervous systems, and flora that screamed when cut. A fuzzy little alien mammal, picked up by a human during a shore leave, barely registered as a concern. Zelthera, the ship's senior xenobiologist, leaned closer, her translucent fronds shimmering. "What species is it?" "No idea," Marcus said cheerfully. "Found her on a moon with no name. She followed me back to camp and wouldn't leave." "That alone is concerning," Zelthera muttered. Pip chirped again, then leapt from Marcus's shoulder to the deck with surprising grace. She sniffed at Threxel's taloned foot, sneezed and scurried back. The captain snorted. "If it becomes a problem, it goes out the airlock." Marcus's smile didn't reach his eyes. "She won't." For the first few weeks, Pip was nothing more than a curiosity. She explored the ship tirelessly, squeezing through vents too small for most species, appearing in unexpected places. She learned the crew's routines quickly, when meals were served, which corridors were warmest, where Marcus could usually be found. She slept curled against him during off-shift hours, a small warm weight that reminded him of Earth in ways he didn't quite understand. The crew tolerated her. Some even grew fond of her, until she started changing. Zelthera noticed it first. During a routine scan of shipboard fauna, mostly microbial, she paused, fronds stiffening. "That's odd." Pip's biosignature had shifted. Slightly but undeniably. Cellular density increased. Neural activity spiked during periods of heightened stress aboard the ship. "Probably just adapting," Marcus said when confronted. "Lots of species do." Zelthera wasn't convinced. Adaptation doesn't usually happen this fast. The changes continued. Pip's fur darkened in patches, forming subtle patterns that seemed to ripple when she moved. Her eyes reflected light differently now, catching colors beyond visible spectra. She began reacting to things before they happened, hissing seconds before an alarm sounded, darting away moments before a conduit overheated. Crewmates joked about it at first. "Looks like the human's pet thinks she's psychic. Maybe she's just ugly evolving." The laughter carried a nervous edge now. The Stellar Concorde entered the Karth Expanse on a routine patrol. It was a region notorious for pirate activity and something far worse, entities that didn't always obey the laws of known physics. Long-range sensors detected a distortion 3 hours into the patrol. "Unidentified mass," the navigator reported. "No conventional energy signature." Threxel frowned. "Weapons hot. Shields at maximum." Pip reacted instantly. She screeched, a sharp, piercing sound that made several crew members recoil. Her fur bristled, patterns flaring with faint bioluminescence. She scrambled up Marcus's arm and pressed herself against his chest, trembling violently. "Easy, girl," Marcus murmured, though his own pulse quickened. "What is it?" Zelthara stared at her readouts. "Captain, the creature's neural output just tripled." The distortion resolved into a shape, a massive, amorphous presence that slid into real space like a wound refusing to close. It wasn't a ship. It was alive. "Void Predator," Threxel breathed. "All hands." The thing struck without warning. Shields buckled as if they weren't there. Hull plating screamed. Gravity lurched. Crew were thrown from their stations. Pip howled. The sound wasn't just noise. It pressed into minds, sharp and resonant. Marcus felt it echo through his skull, through his bones. The Void Predator recoiled. It circled the ship, tendrils of darkness scraping against reality. Every pass weakened the stellar Concorde further. "We can't outrun it," the navigator shouted. Weapons did nothing. Energy beams passed through the entity as if through smoke. Pip tore herself from Marcus's grip and leapt to the deck. "Pip!" Marcus shouted. She stood between the crew and the viewing port, blazing with light now. Bright, blinding. Her small body elongated, bones shifting audibly. Limbs thickened. Her tail split into three, each one lashing with contained fury. The crew watched in stunned silence as the pet became something else entirely. She grew, twice, 3 times her original size. Still compact but dense, powerful. Her eyes burned with alien intelligence, no longer cute or harmless. The patterns along her body resolved into complex sigils, ancient and deliberate. Zelthara whispered, awe and terror mingling. "She's not evolving." "What?" Threxel rasped. "She's remembering." The Void Predator lunged again. Pip roared. The sound tore through space itself, a resonance that matched the Predator's frequency, and shattered it. The entity convulsed, collapsing inward, pulled apart by forces the crew couldn't measure. In seconds it was gone. Silence fell over the bridge. Pip collapsed. Marcus was at her side instantly, dropping to his knees. "Pip. Stay with me." Her form shrank, the light fading. Within moments, she was small again, curled weakly against him. Her breathing was shallow, rapid. "She used an enormous amount of energy," Zelthara said quietly. "Whatever she is, that form isn't sustainable for long." Threxel stared at the creature that had just saved his ship. "What is she?" Zelthara checked her scanners again, hands shaking. "An apex defensive symbiont. A species engineered, long ago, to counter void entities. They bond with sapient protectors. Grow alongside them. Adapt to threats." Marcus swallowed. "So, she followed me because you are human," Zelthara finished. "Your species has an unusual psychological profile. Empathy. Strong protective instincts. You were compatible." The captain lowered his head. "We laughed at her." Marcus held Pip closer. "Yeah, you did." Pip recovered slowly. She never fully changed again, but pieces of that other form remained. Her eyes gleamed with quiet awareness. She reacted less like an animal, more like a watchful guardian. She stayed close to Marcus, but her attention extended to the whole ship. The crew treated her differently now. No more jokes, no laughter. When the stellar Concorde returned to Coalition space, Command demanded explanations, demanded custody. Threxel refused. "This vessel would be wreckage without her," he said flatly. and without the human who brought her aboard. The report was sealed. Pip was officially classified as non-hostile adaptive fauna, an understatement that bordered on criminal. Marcus was offered commendations, promotions, reassignment. He declined them all. He stayed aboard the Stellar Concorde, because Pip still slept curled against his chest, and because out there in the dark between stars, there were other things that laughed at humans, until they learned what humans chose to protect. The crew never laughed at the human's pet again. They watched her instead, carefully,